Some father's death, Emily Paxton returned to her childhood home to help her mother clean out the attic. The house was quiet, too quiet for a Saturday afternoon in June. Dust floated in beams of golden sunlight cutting through the attic's tiny window, illuminating old cardboard boxes filled with holiday decorations, broken furniture, and forgotten toys. "Your father was always hiding things up here," her mother said, voice thin, as though speaking about him disturbed something sacred. "If you find anything that feels personal, just toss it." Emily knew better. Her father, a music teacher and audio engineer, had been obsessive about cataloging his old recordings, tapes, and vinyls. His workroom had been off-limits for years, even before he got sick. As she dug through one box labeled Studio, she found it, a dusty cassette. No label, just a single piece of masking tape across the front that read, in her father's handwriting, "For my girl, play on Father's Day." Emily stood in her father's old workroom later that evening. The air was thick with mildew and solder fumes, the tools untouched since his passing. At the center of the room was his pride, a dual cassette deck player, still plugged in and blinking softly. She inserted the tape. A moment of silence. Then static, then music. It was a lullaby, slow, melancholic, and oddly distorted. Piano chords echoed like they were recorded in an empty cathedral, warping slightly with each pass. There was something wrong with it, but she couldn't place what. Then she heard it. Her name. Emily. The whisper curled through the music like a serpent in the grass. It wasn't part of the melody, it was underneath it, speaking through it. She froze. The voice came again, low and hoarse. "Emily, I'm still here." She yanked the tape out. The room went dark. The player, disconnected, continued to whir. That night, Emily dreamed of her father for the first time in a year. He stood at the edge of a lake, thin, pale, his skin waxy like old candle flesh. His mouth opened, but instead of words, the lullaby played from inside his throat, muffled and broken. "Emily," he rasped, eyes weeping black. "You need to come to the basement." She awoke screaming, drenched in sweat. The lullaby was playing softly from downstairs. The cassette, she remembered, was still in her bag. The basement. The next night, she returned to the house alone. She needed answers. She brought the tape, her phone's flashlight, and a crowbar just in case. Her mother, rattled by Emily's dreams, had gone to stay with a friend. The basement door was stiff. It hadn't been opened in years. Her father had padlocked it long before he got sick. When she broke it open, the smell hit her first. Rot, metal, and something else. Sweet. The stairs groaned as she descended. The air grew colder. The basement was mostly empty, just concrete walls, shelves with dust-coated jars, and one thing she didn't expect. A reel-to-reel recorder. On top of it was a note. "Replace me." Emily stepped closer. The machine clicked on by itself, and then, from the speaker, "You were always the best listener, sweetheart. I made a deal. Now it's your turn." The tape played back a recording of a conversation. Her father's voice, frantic. "She won't agree." A second voice, inhuman, wet and reverberating. "Then she will take your place." Emily dropped the flashlight. It flickered on the floor, casting wild shadows. Something was moving in the far corner, crawling. The entity. Out of the darkness came her father, or what used to be him. His limbs were bent the wrong way, his eyes were solid black like obsidian marbles. From his mouth hung tape, actual cassette tape, looped and soaked in blood. "Emily," he hissed, "don't be afraid, just listen." The walls pulsed like living things. The music swelled, the lullaby returned, only now there were screams woven into the melody, dozens of them. Children, adults, women. One of them was her mother. "I recorded souls," her father said, reaching out with fingers like sharpened wires. "My voice bought me time. Yours will keep it going." Emily ran. Weeks later, the Paxton house was declared condemned. Emily was never found. Her mother was found wandering a nearby field, repeating the words, "Replace me, replace me, replace me." The reel-to-reel recorder, strangely untouched, was taken as evidence. One detective played the tape. He now sits in an asylum, ears bleeding, eyes rolled back, humming that same lullaby over and over. And deep in the dark, if you listen closely, you can still hear the voice beneath the music whispering, "Emily, play it again."